finished the evaluation of your assignment 1 and 2, your class test and your lab quiz. So I think that all is done, but for lab quiz 1 or 2, I see that for question number 1, it's pending. So I believe that within few minutes or sometime it will be done. Now, what I want you that if you have, okay, so I will not take much time for today, assignment releasing, because most of the things we already have discussed in the theory class. I will take that reference and I will finish this up. But then from 2:30 onwards, our TS, 3 TS will be present here. So they divided the total assignment 1 and 2 from your compilers laboratory and evaluated that one. So if you do not have any question or any confusion regarding your assignment 1 and 2 evaluation, so I'm not suggesting you to look at it right now because you will get some time. So please listen to me carefully, and after I am done, then you will get some time to look at those assignment 1 and 2. And if you have any query, then please be here in this meeting. So those TS will join. Either they have already joined or they will join, and they will start at 2:30. That is what I mentioned to them. Probably they will go for some breakout rooms. 3 TS will take 3 breakout rooms and you will be asked to join there. And then you can have the discussion. And we expect that today you will settle the discussion, and after today we will not think or worry much about the assignment 1 and 2 of compiler laboratory class. Okay, that is one point that I have mentioned. Regarding the class test 1, so most of the evaluation except the final question for which you took the photograph and uploaded, so rest of the evaluation is done automatically by Moodle. Okay. And I accept that it may not be possible to have all the possible solutions in the Moodle. I tried my best and we tried our best to put everything, but in case it is not there, or if you have any question or confusion or query, so you can submit that one. So regarding that, I sent another email which contains one Google form. And at this point, I would also like to mention, last time also I mentioned that do not send email, because you know that I used to get a lot of mails for several reasons. So it will be very difficult to keep a track of your queries through the email. But this Google form is will be very organized way. So all those who has sent me, so I got around say 45 emails regarding the class test and lab quiz 1 or maybe more than one. PPT also got some similar amount of emails. Now, if you have already sent the mail, then also you please submit in the Google form, because we are not, honestly speaking, we are not going to look at those emails. Rather, we will look at this Google form. And I hope you have no objection regarding that one, because in Google form, everything will be in one place. So in future reference also, we will use this one. Similar to that, for lab quiz 1 also, we circulated another Google form. So my suggestion and request is that please use the CT1 Google form for CT1 purpose and LQ1 Google form for LQ1 purpose. And you will see that I provided, say, for CT1, 14 questions was there. So 14 multiple choices are there. You select that which question in order to know that what is the question. So I also uploaded the question paper in the Moodle. So you look at that, you pick for which question you have some comment, you select that one and you write your comment there. Okay. Now for LQ, there are only 2 questions. First, we are assuming annotating the assembly, and second, we are assuming flex. So you accordingly you select 1 or 2 and write the question. It's a multiple choice form. So in one form, you can submit only one query. So we are assuming that you have less to no query, but if you have any query and if say multiple queries, then you have to fill it for multiple times. Okay, that is our suggestion. You please do that one. So you got 4 mails, I believe. So first mail regarding the class is going to start at 2 p.m. Second mail, not in any particular order, regarding the evaluation of class test 1 is done. Now I provided one Google Form link and requested that if you have any query, you place the query using the Google Form. And third mail you got on evaluation of the assignment 1 and 2. And fourth mail, I forget to give that subject headline. Probably it went to you as no subject. That contains the Google Form information regarding LQ1. So regarding LQ1, if you have any question, you please put it there. So for CT1 and LQ1, I believe that 2 days are enough. I mean that by tomorrow, if you have any question, you can submit that one. So deadline is tomorrow. So after tomorrow, I will close the query submission and then we will look at those queries. And then if required, we will revise it based upon that, what is the query or it is valid one or not. So based upon that one. And regarding the assignment 1 and 2, so TS is there. So they will discuss with you. Okay, so that is all about the evaluation of CT1, LQ1, assignment 1 and 2, whatever we have done as of now. Now, about these three things, I mean, evaluation of assignment 1, 2, CT1 or LQ1. If you have any question or query, please let me know.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes.
So, like, if there is a change in format of the answer, so will the answer be re-evaluated for all of the students or for only those who have filled the form?
So I'm not sure by changing the format, what do you mean? But it is possible that in Moodle, so if a specified format is not provided, then it may raise the flag that it's a wrong answer, but it might not be. Currently, the solution is also available with you. So you can compare that how are you deviating from the actual answer. And accordingly, you can, if you have any query, then you can post that one. Of course, if you have a valid query.
For example, like in the question in which we have to provide the grammar, like follow F or something like that.
Right. I understand. For follow for fast, so options was limited. So I tried to give all the possibilities. But for follow, so probably 6 terminal symbols was there. So you know that if I take the permutation of 6, then that is a huge. So okay. I know that I didn't provide all the solutions there. But you know right now that when it says that it's wrong or say it is giving you say part marking, not the complete marking, because I put the provision of part marking also for fast and follow. Now, if you find that it is not matching, but you are having currently you are having the correct answer also, then you can make a note that okay, so my answer is correct. Please check. Then we will do it manually. Okay. So it is not the case that look, the facility was there in the Moodle, so we tried to exercise that facility and we reduce some evaluation, but that doesn't mean that that is the final. Okay. So right now, that is what I am also suggesting, that right now correct answer is with you. Right now your answer is with you. Now you can easily compare that what is not matching or what is need to be revised. So accordingly you submit your query. Okay.
So one more thing, like in the Moodle, the answer given for question 7 is plus, comma, comma, bracket, comma, dollar.
I can't remember Satvik right now the solution. And regarding the question,
just wanted to ask, like,
okay, something like that maybe. So if you have a query, you please submit. We will check. But I think my point is clear, right? Because you have currently your solution as well as you have the correct answer. So easily you can figure out that what went wrong and accordingly you can submit your query.
So one question can I ask?
Hello?
Sir, hello, one question. I had one question.
Anurag, so can you please be little loud? I cannot hear you properly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, better. Thank you.
So in LQ1 during submission, the Moodle timed out and I had already pasted the first question, but on reviewing, I saw that the first question was coming blank. So I had immediately mailed you. So should I also copy that entire mail into the Google form?
Oh, okay. Anurag, so that is a separate issue. That is regarding the submission of assignment 3, probably you are talking about. Probably you sent an email. Yes, but I honestly speaking, I didn't get time to look at all those emails. So it might be in my inbox. I hope to look at it and then accordingly reply to you. It may not be you only, it may be some other. So whoever it is, so accordingly I will reply. But I didn't able to check the email. So I was busy with this evaluation, finishing this. So we decided that by 16th we should finish this one. So I was pretty busy with this one. But if you have sent an email, I understand your problem. That is the submission deadline, Moodle server, etc., etc. So if you send an email, I will check at it and I will reply you.
So what should I write in the Google form?
Writing the
Google form query.
Yes. No. For this, there is no Google form, Anurag. So
Okay.
this is regarding the submission of your assignment 3, right?
No, sir, LQ1, lab quiz 1.
Oh, lab quiz 1. Okay.
Yes.
So yes. So whatever you have, so you can mention that one. But in lab Q, in both the test, the option I set in Moodle is that even if you do not submit and your question is in open mode, then also when the test will be over, it will go for the auto submit. So
But I had tested 5
if
minutes.
there is any network issue or power failure from your side, then I am completely helpless. But otherwise, say you are doing some calculations and working on it, and then so definitely. So in Moodle also, like other softwares, that there is a auto saving or refresh etc. time. So after a certain period of time. So if it is within that one and it is open, then it will submit. But I don't know what is your situation, whatever it may be. So you please write it in Google form. As I mentioned that I got about 40 to 45 emails right after the test. So it is very difficult to look at those. But here, if you submit it Google form, it will be easy for us to locate and understand your problem.
So I will copy the date, time, and everything there.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else has any question? Anything? Okay. Then what I am doing, so I am opening assignment 4 in Moodle. So you can open that one. You can look at it so that whenever I will go through it, then you can follow me. So give me a minute. I didn't open it. I'm opening.
So
Yes.
so the answer of question 7 is given wrong in Moodle. Like
As I
there are
said,
two spaces and there isn't any
as I
symbol
said,
between two commas.
as I said, so you write it down as a query. Okay. Then we will look at it. Okay. Now I opened assignment 4 in Moodle. You can look at it. So today it is being assigned. So September 16 and its due date is on 29th of September. So you have around 2 weeks. So precisely the Moodle says 13 days, 9 hours you have for your submission. Because we are planning to give you the assignment 5 on 30th of September. Okay. So right after the finishing of your assignment 4, we will give you assignment on 30th of September. And most likely next week, there may not be any lab class. That I will announce later. So whenever it will come. Now, this assignment is also group assignment and its total marks is 100. So here, basically, you need to write the parsar for the TinyC. So in assignment 3, you prepared the flex. Now in that flex, also you remember that in theory class, I mentioned that flex and the parts, the scanner and the parser can work interactively, or say scanner can finish its work and then parser can take it up. Now, when you were working on that assignment 3, then parser was absent completely. So your job was to scan the source code and generate the tokens. And while generating the tokens, I got some query, and from that query, what I understand is that some of you are trying to give life or meaning to each, say, pattern or token during the scanning process. But it may not be possible. Say whether a subtraction is a binary operator or unary minus during the scanning phase, it is not possible to tell that one. So that information will come in the parsing stage or in the semantic analysis stage. So step by step it will come. So main responsibility of the lexical analyzer or your flex program is that it will read a source program. It will eliminate all the comments, unnecessary white spaces, and it will tokenize the sequence of characters or the patterns following some rule, and it will say also that this token belongs to this pattern. So whether it is an identifier or it's a keyword or it's a say arithmetic operator, so those information only it will mention. Now in the parser stage, when it is parser, then you expect that a list of grammar rules or production rules will be given and you need to implement that production rule. Unlike to the previous case where only the patterns are there and you need to encode the pattern in your program, here you need to implement the grammar. Now while implementing this assignment, follow the phase structure grammar specification of C language from the international standard ISO IEC 9899:1999E. So this particular specification file I also uploaded in the Moodle. If you look at, so where it is, let me see. So that particular file, yes. So if you look at assignment 3, then International Standard on Programming Language C, that PDF file relates to this one. Okay. Now, if I go to this particular assignment, then this assignment talks about a list of grammatical rules. So this is to keep the assignment within our required scope. We are using a subset of the complete C language, and we have chosen a subset of the specification as given below. And as I mentioned on the last laboratory class also, that we will call these as tiny C. Okay, so some of you ask the question that when it is say tiny C, whether the extension will be .c or say .tinyc, just to differentiate between a C program. But you know, when I am using a subset, then that also is nothing but a C program. It's just a subset. When I will go for the superset, which means I am defining something new, and that new thing is not present in the C programming language, so that I should say that probably it is not C, something else, maybe C extended kind of thing. But for tiny C, I am using only a subset of the specifications. So it will be same as the C program. Do not worry about that one. Now the lexical specification of tiny C, also taken and abridged from the standard, has already been discussed in assignment 3. The phase structure grammar specification is written using the common notation of language specification as discussed in the last assignment, which means if it is italics, then that is non-terminal. If it is bold, straight, then it is terminal. And production rule, also we discussed in our theory class that left-hand side of the production rule will be written first, and that array will be replaced by the colon. And you also remember several times we discussed the Bison program, and in that Bison program also the format we have used is that say statement colon statement list, like that way. So here also this assignment 4 you need to implement using Bison, and we started discussion on the Bison. Day to day we are enriching the Bison by incorporating more and more information. You remember initially in the Bison program there was only the grammar. Then we incorporated that okay, the grammar or the production rules may be ambiguous in nature, and when it is ambiguous, to discriminate between the ambiguity, we incorporated the associativity and precedence information. And Bison provides me a very straightforward way to go for implementing the associativity and precedence information. After that one, on the last lecture on Tuesday, we also have seen that Bison specification can able to generate the 3-address code or intermediate representation. But we will not go up to the 3-address code generation. That will come in our assignment 5. we will generate up to that Python where say $$ equals to $1 plus $3 was for production rule E drives E plus E. Okay. Now in the expression, so we have primary expressions, identifier, constraint, string, literal expression, then postfix expression. In our second lecture of this semester, extensively we discussed regarding the postfix expression, and we know by this time that if it is a postfix expression, so using a stack, we can easily evaluate that expression. Then argument expression list followed by unary expressions. Now you see that whatever we have discussed in the class was only a subset. Although a number of production rules was provided, different parser tables we have created, but in theory it is not obviously possible to discuss everything. And now in our last class, so we discussed only the unary minus. Now we have unary plus plus, unary minus minus, you know that one. Now if you define that as a postfix expression, so I plus plus, I minus minus, then it will act like that. If you go for say pre-increment, plus plus, then unary expression, minus minus unary expression, then it will go like that. Now the size of information is also there, and among the unary bitwise operators, it is and, multiplication, addition, subtraction, negation, and then tilde. So the cast expression, typecast, it is also here. So you see now we are seeing this more similar to C programming language. So whatever we have discussed in our first or second semester during programming and data structure is being used here. And we are writing the C compiler for this purpose. Okay. There is some comment. Oh, I didn't. So funny, I didn't share my screen because I asked all of you to download the PDF. Okay, you want me to share the screen?
Okay, sir, it's okay, sir. We'll can do.
That's not a problem. So I make it available actually to Moodle. Yes. Now you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, okay. But this is the same. So you please download from your Moodle, or you can see here also. It's fine. Okay, so I was discussing about this postfix expression and the prefix expressions. So pre-increment or post-increment information, and those size of operators, bitwise operators, so cast information, casting to integer or float. So whatever you have done there in C program, and now you are experienced, you are in third year, so you are writing a compiler so that say your junior who is in the first year can use that one to compile their program. And you know that for first few weeks, so students, what they used to do, it's very much possible that your compiler can able to compile that one. So not a very fancy thing, and not using too much encryption there. So they can definitely use your compiler. Now this multiplicative expressions, additive expressions, the variations, different variations. So this difference variation, you can see that additive expression plus multiplicative expression. So this will be evaluated first that way. Okay. Now shift expression, then relational expressions, then equality expressions, then AND expressions, then exclusive or, inclusive or, then logical and, logical or, conditional expression, assignment expression, assignment operator, which are one of these equals to multiplication. Now here see that as of now we didn't discuss about this kind of shortening the expressions. So you remember from your class of PDS that so A equals to A plus B can also be written as A plus equals to B. So that kind of expression here, multiplication equals to slash equals to percent equals to plus equals to minus equals to. So those things are here. Now this way you can also understand that if you wish to extend or elaborate your compiler, then only thing is that you incorporate new rules. And whenever you will incorporate new rules, and accordingly the support or the extension will happen, and support for the more generic C program you can able to compile. Now this is the expression, then this is the constant expression, and declarations. So declaration specifier, init declarations, declaration specifier, storage class specification. So regarding the storage class, I am directly going there. Storage class, extern, static, auto, and register. Now you remember that these are the only 4 storage class we discussed in the context of C programming also. So although it is tiny C, is using a subset of the C programming language, but it supports, sometimes it supports completely the C program. You look at the storage class, 4 classes, extern, static, auto, register, those are there. So extern also includes your global specification, because global is not explicitly mentioned as global. So you just declare it outside of any function and in some file, and in another file you mention that as an extern, that indicates it's a global. So it is declared somewhere else, you call that one. On the last class also we used that one such example. In one file I mentioned once a integer n, that's it. And from main file I am calling that as extern int n, indicating that okay, n is one variable which is declared somewhere else. Now if you do not do that one, that will be very interesting just for C programming point of view, that if you have say multiple files, and in each file if you have integer n outside of all the functions, which means global, then during the compilation it will not complain, but during the linking it will see that lot of different instances or declaration of same variable is there, so there will be a conflict. But if you declare extern, which means okay, only one definition is allowed, rest are just using that information. So that's why that extern is there. Now in the type specifier, you see all the types are there: void, char, sort, int, long, float, double, signed, unsigned, underscore bool, underscore complex, underscore imaginary. So these 3 you are incorporating. That's nice, right? And also if you have that, okay, so I wish to have a say tiny C compiler which will make mathematical calculations or say matrix operations very efficiently, then you can have say matrix addition or matrix subtraction or matrix multiplication as part of this grammar rule, so that whenever say somebody will say that A multiplied with B equals to C, where A, B, C all are say matrix, then internally what will happen, then you can able to code that one. So you understand, okay, A, B is a matrix type, it is a multiplication, which means that what will be the set of 3 address code at the basic level for multiplying the matrix, and corresponding to that 3 address code, when you generate the corresponding machine code, then in the source code you are just writing say A multiplied with B, and during the execution it is doing the matrix multiplication. Okay, so it is really fun that if you think of it and keep on extending your imagination beyond what is specified here. But definitely for a good first you have to implement this one and submit your assignment. Now the enumerator list, enumerators, now type classifiers. So constant, restrict, volatile, function specifier. So you remember that similar to that has defined macro, some functions can be called as the inline functions. So there are some advantages during calling that inline functions that will be discussed during the runtime environment also. So that you can mention or you can have that scope there. Then declarator, direct declarator, and pointer data type, very interesting thing, and you are supporting that one. Type qualifier list and type qualifier, parameter type list, parameter list. So all are here. So I'm not going to read all those things, but just summary of what is there. Now here statement. Now you remember that in our production rule, the start symbol was L derives say ls / n, then s derives id equals to s, that way. So here statement label statement, compound statement, expression statement, selection statement, iteration statement, and jump statement. And each of them is further defined using the production rules which are given here. Okay, now you see one small difference here. So if you are say copying and pasting, that you should be careful. In this case, this semicolon, you please note it down. This particular semicolon, labels underscore label hyphen statement, then this indicates the arrow, and here this colon indicates that it is a terminal symbol, that colon. So the difference you can see in this case, it is the non-bold and italic version. In this case, it is non-italic but bold version. Okay. Now in the selection statement, more things to look at. So if expression statement, else statement, switch cases are there. Now combining these two, we have seen some ambiguity in our theory class that if E then S, if E then S, else S, and when they are combined together, then sometimes it may be a confusion that else means which if, corresponding to which if it is else. Okay. Now for iteration, we have while, do while, and for. What else? Nothing. So these are required. Now regarding this for, there are two situations. One, that expression, semicolon expression, semicolon expression. Another, it allows the declaration also inside the for. So you should be happy to know this, because most of the time what you do that when you declare some, when you write some for loop, inside that for loop you used to declare int I, the loop variable you wish to declare there. So for that a separate production rule is required, and it is here. So declaration, expression, opt, expression, that way you are doing. Okay, so there is a small typo here. You please note it down. I will correct that one. So since it's a for loop, one more semicolon must be there. So for loop means two semicolons must be there. One more semicolon here. Now in this for loop, actually also you see that expressions are all optional. So this subscript OPT indicates that these expressions are optional. So they are separated by semicolon. So it may possible, and also probably you used that for within parentheses, semicolon, semicolon, that's it, no expressions. So then also it will work. So that facility you are providing by writing expressions are optional here. Now in the jump statement, we know that goto is there, of course, continue, break, and return. So those are nothing but the jump statement. Now few external definitions like translation unit and external declarations, function definition and declaration list is there. Well, to wrap it up, that the assignment, you have to use Bison specification. I think that it's not a problem to you, because we are discussing on this Bison for last few classes, and for defining the tokens of TinyC and generate the require y.tab.h file. So you remember one slide we have used where the connection between the Flex and Bison was established. Then we mentioned that from the Bison, one header file will come, and that header file will also be used by the Flex. Now it's the time. Write a Bison specification for the language of TinyC using the above phase structure grammar. Use the Flex specification that you had developed for assignment 3. Here, please note it down. You need to use your own assignment 3 for Flex specification. You should not take your friends' Flex specifications. So if you take that one, then there is a penalty for this one. You use your own specification. But while working with that one, right now you have little more knowledge, you have little more experience. If you find that in the previous Flex implementation, you had some problem, you make the corrections, and in your README file, you make it that, okay, in my previous Flex function, Flex specification, this was the problem, and I corrected this one. Okay. While writing the Bison specification, you may need to make some changes to the grammar. For example, some non-terminals like argument, expression, list optional are shown as optional on the right hand side as postfix expression like this. One way to handle them would be to introduce a new non-terminal argument expression list opt and a pair of new production rule argument expression list opt argument expression list or epsilon. So by incorporating the epsilon production. So in this case, we are expecting that you, and that is one of the reasons that you are tagged with one of your partners so that you can discuss, you can collaborate, and you can be more innovative, so that you will not just copy and paste the production rules or the phase structure grammar provided here. If it is required, you go for necessary modification, but modification should not impose more restriction on tiny C, but it will be more towards the C on top of tiny C. So minimum requirement is the tiny C, but if you extend for more towards the C, then that is always welcome. And change the above rule as postfix expression, argument expression list of. Now name your file .l. So you know .l means flex and .y. So this .l I mentioned here because if it is required that you need to change some of your flex specification, you do that one, but you have to do by yourself. You should not copy your friend's flex specification. And then you have the new .l, otherwise you have the old .l. So .l and .y files both are with you, and you name them as assignment 4_role.l. Now you are working in group, so this role you can make role1_role2 to indicate that you and your partner are working together. And from here also we will get that group information. And also, as I mentioned today, and in some email response reply also, and also in the class I mentioned that when you are working as a group, so at least one submission is required. But if it is the case that you or your partner has submitted and others didn't, that is also fine, because we will evaluate only one version, assuming that it is the same version from you as well as from your partner. Okay. Now finally, the .y or the .l file should not contain the function main. It was the case for our last assignment also. Write your main in a separate file to test your lexer and parser. Okay, so you have lexer.l, you have parser.y, and you have a main file .c that you are writing here for testing. Now regarding the compiling, again, like the previous time, you have to make a makefile. Now the good thing is that you need not have to write the makefile from the scratch. You reuse your previous makefile and make only the changes by incorporating which is there because of incorporating this Bison file. So here it is. Now prepare a test input file and test your code. You submit your test file, your lexer, your parser, and your main function in C file along with your makefile. So it will come as a complete package, so that we will just unzip that one. So either tar or zip, whatever is fine with you, we are also fine with that. So we just unzip, we will go to that folder, we will write make, and it will generate the executable file. Now on your test file, we will test, and it should test correctly. Apart from that one, so we may have, and of course we will have our own test set, we will test on that one. It should do good in our test set also. Okay. Now while you are writing this one, then okay, the credit first. So the specification and testing, it is the 70 marks, main file and make file 10 marks only, and for the test file 20. Okay, so regarding the test file, definitely we will test with your test file, and we will have our own test file. It may also possible that we will consider your classmates test file to test your program. Okay, so all are possible. Now, if it is the case that you have done some sort of improvisation or customization for the goodness, again I am telling, for the goodness, not to restrict tiny C, but to extend tiny C towards C, or you have something to convey to the TA, then you can have one README file, and that is always a welcome thing, that if there is something is not working and TAs do not understand, or we are not able to understand that what is going on, then we may consult to your README file. So if you think that it might be a good idea to give a README file because some special things are there in your program, so it's always a good idea, and go for it. Okay. So that's it, not much, because theory we have already discussed in the theory class. Now it's only the assignment or the implementation. But you know, in the theory we started with a simple a simple calculator, then we extended for the programmable calculator and a few other things. But here it is going to support a lot of things. Okay. So any question do you have? Okay. So if you do not have any question, then I am stopping here. So I will leave, and I believe that Ovik is already here. I can see, and others may also be there. So they can take care from here. Okay. So Ovik, did you able to contact others?
Yes, sir, I have informed them.
Okay, so I think soon they will be there. Now you can use some breakout room from here, and you mention their roll number so that they can join. So before that one, I request to all the students, you please now look at the assignment 1 and 2. So if you have no query, no question, then you can leave the meeting. But if you have a query or question, then you please stay here and wait for the instruction for the breakout room or how to join to the interaction. You please wait for that and take part this. We are expecting that we will complete the total evaluation of assignment 1 and 2 by today, if there is no exception arises. Okay. Thank you.